Good evening. Welcome back to another episode of the Lord of the Rings LCG Progression Series. Playing solo as always, and tonight's quest is The Nine Are Abroad, the second print on demand quest from the Long Extended Party Players Committee. This one was released fairly recently as of the making of this video. And as you can see, the setup involves a map of Middle-earth on the right side that we will be moving around with a player token. It's built as a quest for multiple groups, one of the epic quests that you can play with. I'm not sure how many parties you can play this with. A lot, I think. But it's balanced decently for solo play. I enjoyed it. I found it thematic. So we get to start with an objective ally. And essentially each location that comes out and each enemy is going to be assigned to a different region. The ones that are assigned to the region other than the one that we are at are going to contribute threat against. And if there is a location that's assigned to the region that I'm currently at, then that will behave as if it's the active location. When I clear it, I can try to find rumors of the enemy, and if I do this enough, then I can engage the Witch King to win the quest. So getting started, I'm starting on, what is that region? I forget which it's called. One of the middle ones, that's why I chose it, and I chose a location that would go on that region as part of the setup so that I would immediately have something to explore to look for rumors. That objective in the staging area means that anytime the first Nazgul comes, I deal it a shadow card, and then it surges, or not deal it a shadow card, I carry out its shadow effect, and then it gets discarded and it surges. So in this case, the shadow effect dealt 2 damage to one of my characters. And I decide to cancel this when revealed effect using a test of will. And I was uncertain here whether it should be added to the victory display or not. I guess it probably wouldn't matter, but I was uncertain about it. So I do clear that location. Get to discard the top 2 cards of my deck and add 1 to my hand. And I chose to keep Gandalf over a good harvest. And now I'm looking at the rumors. You can see that I have exhausted. I'll explain the rumor mechanism. I exhausted a character. Its highest stat is the number of cards I get to discard looking for a rumor. In this case, the highest stat of the objective ally that I exhausted was 2. Therefore, I get to discard 2 cards from the encounter deck, and I get to look at their rumor effects and choose one that I want to use. And in this case, I'm deciding between the 2. One of them allows me to put a resource token on the northeast or southwest region from my current region after I carry out the effect, which is exhaust 1 hero. And the other one, I forget what it was. Discard the top card of your deck, then discard 1 copy of that card from play. Not too big a deal. In this case, it puts a token on different regions. So I was just debating where I want the resource token to go. I don't really have any reason to put it one place over another, but I eventually make a decision on, I think it's northeast. Yeah, the region northeast of my current region. So there's 1 resource token there now. If I get 3 on any one location there, that's when I can summon a Nazgul. And if this were multiplayer, the game would continue, but in solo, you only have to summon 1 Nazgul. It's 1 Nazgul for each group playing the mission. Oh, I can get out Steward of Gondor now. And I should exhaust it and add 2 resources to Elrond. Hopefully I remembered to do that. We'll see. Maybe I didn't. Oh, now I remember. So I can play Knight of the White Tower if I want. Or I could play Jubayr, but I think I opt for Knight of the White Tower. I usually opt to get that one out when I can. It's not an easy ally to play from hand. During the travel phase, I had the option of traveling between regions, but I didn't see a reason to do that. Typically, you'll do it to clear. Or if you've got cards on other locations, you'll move to engage them or clear them or whatever, but nothing else is out on the board right now, so that card, after it goes into play, it goes to a region with a road, and the region I'm currently at has a road trait, so it can go right there and it becomes an active location. That was a good draw for me. And as I quest for 4, and there is no threat against, I will actually just go ahead and clear that location. Oh wait, no I wouldn't. Would I? I'm not actually sure how that mechanic works. So, you reveal a location from the encounter deck, it immediately goes on your region, and then do you clear it right away or not until next round? I believe I played it so that I wouldn't clear it until next round, but I'm not actually sure now. Maybe I should have cleared it right away. Not actually sure. So I moved on to the next round, I guess? I think? Or did I make a mistake and forget that I'd already quested this round? I'm going to check on that. Okay, I did move on to the next round. So no problem. We're just on to the next round. The encounter card was the Karak, which goes on the region to the northeast, as it says in the card. I clear this location, the south road, at my current region, which means I get to discard 2, take 1 into hand, and I'm debating about which one that's going to be, Ghân-buri-Ghân or a Burning Brand. Not an easy choice. I guess I'd decide on Ghân-buri-Ghân. You could go either way, really. And now I'm starting the rumor process. First I exhausted Honor Guard, I look at 1 card, and I immediately get a rumor card, so trigger this card's shadow effect to place another one on the northeast region, which is, I think, exhaust an ally or something like that. Not too big a deal, and maybe deal 1 damage to it. So I actually have 2 resources on the northeast region right away, which is quite good. And I decide to move 1 region to the north. I could also move 1 region to the east, but you can't move diagonally, or I would have moved directly diagonally, but that's where my party is heading. Rumor cards are discarded when they're done, so on to the next round, and this is going quite well so far. It can take quite a bit longer to do this quest if you get a lot of resources on different regions in the area and not all concentrated at once. So you have to go on exploring and moving around until you get 3. And you can get some enemies and locations building up on regions that are far away from your party, and their threat works against you when you're questing, which can make this quest take quite a bit longer, and even get you into a location lock situation if you get unlucky. So I get Ghân-buri-Ghân out. And we go ahead and quest. I'm really just questing not to take on threat. The Karak is contributing its threat against me as it is not at my region. If it was at my region, it would be considered active. So I think that's 7 threat against, so I lose by 1. Quested a little too conservatively. And while not engaged, this card is placed on Gondor. So, goes on Gondor. Not going to be engaged until I move down to Gondor. It's just going to sit there contributing 4 threat against me. I think I should have actually failed the quest because the Carrack was 3 against, so that's 7 to my 6. Shouldn't have placed any progress, and I should have taken 1 threat. Not sure if I realized that at some point. It was because I played it too conservatively. I obviously could have quested with a number of other characters. I guess I don't realize it, so my threat should be 41. And I'm going to get out Giant Bear, one of my favorite allies. That card has a lot to offer. So I'll be questing against the Carrack, and there's 4 threat against me. So I'm going to quest more seriously this time. The Carrack is now considered active, so it's not contributing its threat against me, and Ghân-buri-Ghân is going to be at 3 willpower because of the Carrack's 3 threat. I don't know why I just did that. Removed a progress from... Each player must resolve the shadow effect. Oh, I realized it because I realized I should have had 1 more threat. No, that was the doomed one. I don't really know. For each attachment you control, something happened. A damage goes on my guys. Exhaust it or discard it and deal 1 damage. So I have to exhaust the Armored Destrier as well. But I do clear the Carrack, and that allows me to start investigating rumors. I can move from my current region to any other region in the map and then investigate rumors. Don't feel the need to move to any other region. I forget if I do or not. I think I'm just going to move on to the investigating rumors. So 3 rumors. And I like that one because it allows me to place 1 resource on my current region, which makes 3 resources. So I deal the damage to my characters. And I've got the resources that I need on the region to move on to the next region. The number of Nazgul enemies in play matches the number of groups. So I basically shuffle the discard pile into the deck and then discard until I find a Nazgul. If there were other groups playing, they would get the same Nazgul in play. And there he is. 1 too many. First rider, so he goes on my region. He gets the buff, which makes him the Witch King, and he gets 10 HP plus 5 per player. So it's 15 HP instead of his 20. That actually nerfs him a little bit for balance reasons. And we flip to side, which makes Nazgul immune to player card effects. Can't be optionally engaged, but they're considered engaged at the same region as the party. And you no longer investigate rumors. Instead, you would draw a card. The Nazgul in question also gets plus 5 willpower and plus 2 attack, which gives him 8 attack, quite formidable. And you can only deal 5 damage to him per round. So at 15 HP, instead of the 20 printed on the card, the Witch King buff actually nerfs him a little bit in this case, but at 15 HP he's going to take 3 turns minimum to defeat. So you can't just Éowyn and kill him right away. And I decide I don't want to engage him this round because I'm not set up well for it. Nobody can really take 8 attack without losing somebody I want, so I just run away during the travel phase. And the Nazgul doesn't have like a follow mechanism. He's going to contribute his threat against, but I decide I'd rather get set up and deal with that and then travel back over there and engage him next round. So we found the Nazgul and we run away to fight another day. 9 threat against is a problem, but not that big a problem. Now I'm thinking about whether I want Gandalf or Glorfindel here. The Nazgul's immune to player card effects, so that makes it so I can't use Gandalf's direct damage on him. Also thinking about whether Vilya is going to be useful here. I decided it's not going to be. And I'm also thinking about whether I might want Gildor. Glorfindel has a little more attack than Gildor, and he has more actions available to him. I don't have a lot of cards I could discard. I think I'm also thinking maybe Gandalf, if this was the last turn. I'm not sure what I would be saving Gandalf for. But then I didn't really know this encounter deck very well. I do think Glorfindel's a better choice than Gildor. So now we're questing just with the intention of not taking on any threat. And with reducing threat by a little bit with Frodo. That's going to go on a coastline region, so there's 11 threat against to my 6, 7, 8, 9, so I should take a 2 threat penalty here. Or wait, no, plus Glorfindel is 12, so I'm actually questing successfully here. So I should reduce threat by 1 with Frodo. But I forget, as I often do. So I move back to the Nazgul's region, and I'm just going to move him over to the engaged area just for simplicity, so I can see the card easier. He's going to attack, and I believe I have him attack someone who's going to be sacrificed. The shadow card is engage the pursuing wargs. Dead Honor Guard, as the Nazgul does have 8 attack. And the pursuing wargs are going to attack Beregond. It's past the phase of the combat phase where shadow cards are dealt, so when an enemy comes out as a shadow card, it doesn't get one itself unless it specifically says to. And now I'm dealing the 11 damage needed to get 5 wounds on the Nazgul. And I'm realizing I don't have the ability to take out pursuing wargs. I could have readied Glorfindel with a discard, and then I would have been able to. I just like all the cards in hand, so I chose not to do that. Maybe I should have, though. Maybe I should have discarded Vilya, because I don't believe I actually play Vilya in this game. I put an attack token on the region just to remind myself where the Nazgul is. So I'm going to use Gandalf here to take out the wargs. He can't take combat damage unless he's been dealt a shadow card with an effect, but Gandalf is not combat damage in this instance. So I'm looking at what threat I'm facing. It is 6 threat against, so I quest for 9. And I got a side quest and an enemy. That is an additional map token. At the end of the round, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If the card is a non-unique enemy, reveal it. And that enemy went on the region where I currently am, so it is going to engage this round. It's 9 to 9, so I don't take any threat and I don't make any progress. He gets +2 attack if he stays on the board more than one round. I have Gandalf take the attack from the Witch King. He triggers his shadow effect every time he attacks, and he triggers his shadow effect at the end of the round as well, which is raised threat by 2, so certainly threat gets up there in a hurry. Beregond helps with that, as does Leadership Frodo. I may have missed that last round. I may have been supposed to increase threat by 2, possibly 4. I'm not 100% sure. Now I'm going back and looking. To make sure I had the threat right. Could be it's supposed to be at 46 here. Not 100% sure. So that enemy gets to engage because oh no, it's Rune says that the enemy gets revealed, right? This should be the final round. Yeah, the enemy gets revealed, not engaged, so it just goes over on to the region it's assigned to, adds some threat against me. It's possible I should be at 48 threat here. Frodo's going to reduce my threat by 1. I decide to go ahead and cancel that card with Test of Will. And I don't quite clear the rune objective. Oh, the Nazgul's raised threat by 1, not by 2. I was mistaken. So actually my threat is good. I thought it was possible I was supposed to reduce by, or increase by 2 each round. And each time he attacked, but it's actually 1, so that's not as bad as I feared. I have to discard a random card from hand thanks to his shadow card, and he's attacking Ghân-buri-Ghân, who's going to die. Attacking enemy gets +1. That's no big deal against Beregond. It is going to do 1 damage, and actually he got even more from that shadow card, but doesn't kill him, and I don't need the threat reduction as this is the last turn. So sorry about the confusion with the threat. I thought that the first rider had a more fearsome shadow effect than he does, so that threat total should be right in the end. I may have forgotten Frodo's ability once. I'm not sure. I often do. But that'll be 15 damage, and that will end the game. I like this quest a lot, moving around the map of Middle-earth, and it seems like it'd be a lot of fun to play in epic mode with multiple groups. It seems pretty well designed. It's even pretty well balanced for solo play. Probably a better balance for solo play than the other epic quests, which I really appreciated from the quest designers. And it was really fortuitous in this case because I was able to get 3 resources on the same region right away. That didn't happen the other times I played this quest, and so the quest took longer. But ultimately, it's a relatively forgiving quest in solo play. You could bring different types of decks against this. I was bumping into the threat threshold, though, with Frodo and Beregond. I was probably going to be okay, even at 46, until Galadrim's Greeting came out. You can get overwhelmed by enemies and locations in different areas if you don't move around and just kind of ignore them. But I like this quest. It's thematic. It's fun to move around the map of Middle-earth. It's good design. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Thanks for watching.